Did I tell everybody that I used to do rodeo when I was younger?
No.
Okay.
No. I used to go to agricultural exhibitions when I was younger, so I'm excited for this.
Like 4-H club?
I wasn't in 4-H, but like I lived in the prairies for a while, so.
The male donor part of the DNA, what makes me Jacob, that part of the family comes from rural Vermont, Burlington. There's in fact a Burgess Road, I believe, near Burlington, Vermont. But I used to do rodeo and fishing and hunting competitions when I was a kid. And there was one that I did because I got started really, really early. I normally I give people the choice between these two, but if I haven't told the story, I'm just going right for it because we were talking about horses. So there was one event, there's different events that you can do at a rodeo, barrel racing and things like that. Barrel racing, calf roping, various horse-related things. But sometimes the families, those cowboys and cowgirls and cowfolk that come to these rodeos to compete, they bring their children. They're very, very young children. And it was on such a day that I tell you about now. Whole family was there. Mother, father, little Jacob. Again, stopped wearing jeans when I was in like 13, middle school, about then. In my little cowpoke outfit. Checkered shirt, little cowboy hat, jeans, cowboy boots that I had a very hard time walking in. I was about 2.5.
Oh.
And there is an event at rodeos. I don't believe it's done anymore. I have not checked in with the rodeo circuit and the legalities of such a thing in quite some time. Sometimes they do the, you release the bull for like halftime in between events. And a cloud plays with the bull, or, you do various tricks and things like that. Somebody comes out and does trick rope. The event that I was involved in on this particular day in rural Vermont, I believe this was at the Burlington County Fair, if I remember correctly, but I was very, very young, and parts of the story were told to me. But there are parts that I distinctly remember. It's called the Kitty Scramble that I was involved in. And you know how they have the 2 pens where they release bull riders from at the end of, a pretty much mud-filled and poop-filled arena? They take those 2 pens and they fill one of them with baby sheep, baby goats, baby calves. And they tape a dollar bill to all of their tails. They get them all riled up. And then they take all of the children from the arena and they put them in the other pen. And they get them all riled up. And then what they do is they release all of the baby animals, the baby sheep, the baby goats, and the baby calves with the dollar bill taped to their tail. And then they release all of the children to go and chase those dollar bills in an incredibly muddy, definitely poop-filled arena. I am me. I am ultimately lazy. I work very hard to do as little as possible. That's why I work out, is because I want to have enough energy to be able to enjoy myself throughout my entire life. That's why I work as hard as I do, because I do believe that discipline a lot of times equals freedom. And I was like this when I was a kid. Apparently I stood and let all of the children run past me. Little 2-year-old Jacob in his cowboy outfit. Very, very fat, because I was a very, very fat child. Looking out at this poop-filled arena, all of these children chasing dreams and dollars and tiny baby animals. Then I walked out into the middle of the arena and I waited for some of these children to fall down. And then I would just very calmly walk around the entire place and pick up all of the piles of money and waddle over to my parents and just handed them a big stack of ones, and then went back and did it again. Over and over until we had like $100. I was never very athletic, but at least I was smart.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
That's so good.
Jeez. Just calmly, quietly, walking around, ripping off the other children.
I was a very fat child, so you have to imagine, like, uncooked bread dough in a cowboy outfit picking up money out of mud and poop.
I mean, a 2-year-old is so tiny as well. Just so
Yes.
small.
Yep.
You have the advantage that older children are disciplined for attacking a child that small, so they probably couldn't do anything as you took their money. They're probably just like, I can't hit it, it's a baby.
One would hope. But again, this was rural Vermont, so I don't know.
Oh, man.
All right.
I assume that since it's a story about 2-year-old Jacob, that it's one of those. Is that an apocryphal story that your family has passed down to you, or do you slightly remember this happening?
I do slightly remember this happening. Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. So in order to tell the story, I used some language that could be interpreted as fat shaming, but I was talking about myself as a kid because I think large children are very, very cute. So I hope that was okay in service of the story, and if it was not, I apologize.
I think that was just fine, and I appreciate you bringing that up, and just making a note of that on camera. Thank you.
Yeah. It's also important because sometimes when telling a story, or also like when doing improv or in the moment, sometimes you will go past something and be like, nah, it wasn't quite right. So I always, at the very least, try to afterwards be like, nah, that wasn't. In the heat of performance, not the coolest thing in the world.
Smart.